Andy and I have been around consumer internet for a long time. We've been punched in the face a ton of times. I think it's a good transition to go from liquid trading to venture capital. Decasonic is a $50 million venture and digital assets fund investing at the intersection of AI and crypto. Pleasure to have Andy here, who's on the front lines of AI. He's talked to some of the leaders that you hear about in the news. He's written a new book. I don't want to steal his thunder, but he has such a ground zero perspective of what's happening in AI. In investing and trading, you're only as good as your next adaptation, and AI is such a big disruption in crypto and blockchain that we thought it was paramount to have this discussion. Abdul is my colleague at Decasonic. We heard someone mention earlier about the org chart. We now have 80 teammates at Decasonic, 5 humans and 75 AI agents. Abdul leads this charge. He's on the front lines of coding, nights and weekends, the AI, as he does his day job managing crypto portfolios and private investments. So pleasure to have both of them on stage with me. I'm going to kick off with some intros from you guys.
I'm Andy Sack. Is this on? Yeah, there we go. I'm Andy Sack, chairman of Form 3 and also managing partner of Keen Capital, which is a fund of funds in the Web3 space. So I have background in Web3, and Form 3 started as a Web3 company. In November of 22, we got funding from Decasonic. The following week, we launched the Starbucks Odyssey project, which was a leading NFT project that we partnered with Starbucks on. The following week, FTX collapsed, and 60 days later, Form 3 pivoted into the Gen AI space. So as I mentioned, I'm a career technologist. I started my first internet company in the 90s. I became a Web2 VC and then spent 7 years working directly for Satya Nadella as he became CEO of Microsoft, doing digital transformation at Microsoft prior to starting Form 3.
Abdul.
Paul gave a great intro. I would definitely add to that I'm an ex-founder turned investor. Currently at Decasonic, I co-lead investments alongside my colleague as well, Teresa. Many of you probably met her as well at the intersection of Web3 and AI. And when we take a look at opportunities at the intersection, it's fascinating to see how we have the convergence of two of the biggest opportunities available right now in two of the largest emerging industries. And just very excited to be part of this market, very excited to be part of this industry. And thank you all as well for coming here to listen to us.
I want to ask Andy a few questions, especially about your book, and then we'll have Abdul run a 5-minute demo on some of the products we've built at Decasonic. So, Andy, relative to some of the other tech trends you and I have lived through, client server, PC, internet.com, mobile, social, how big is this opportunity in AI?
Fucking huge. I mean, let me tell you a little bit about Form 3, and let me get the plug out of the way. AI first. I've never written a book. This is my first and last book. I don't recommend it, but I do recommend the book. It's shockingly, people are buying this book and saying it's good.
It's number one on Amazon for a while.
Of new releases, it's popular, so check it out. This book was basically Harvard Business Press first serial book, and the idea was that we would do an interview and then write the chapter. And so I had the privilege of interviewing Sam Altman. That was the first interview in November of 23. So a year after he launched ChatGPT, many years after he started OpenAI, we interviewed Bill Gates, Reid Hoffman, Mustafa Suleyman, like all the insiders of the LLM space. And then about midway through our journey, we transitioned and started to look for case studies of companies, of like real world companies that were utilizing AI to advance their businesses. And so the book has, the second part of the book is case studies with Moderna, Khan Academy, and Suzy, which is a consumer market research firm. And we were just looking to see how businesses and business leaders were transforming the industry. And my takeaway, so in the first interview with Sam Altman, Sam says about midway through, it's at the OpenAI offices, which are in the industrial section in a nondescript warehouse in San Francisco with zero security. We have this interview, and about midway through the interview, Sam says, yeah, I don't know much about marketing and design, but 95% of marketing as we know it today, as we think about it today, will be done by AGI within 3 to 5 years. And he just sort of dropped that in the normal flow. That tweet went viral. We left that meeting. Adam, who was is my co-author and co-founder and former chief digital officer of Starbucks. We finished the interview. We go outside across the street. There's a park, and we're walking around the park, and we're like, "Holy shit! Did he just say 95% of marketing?" And so like that was 20 months ago. And like that was before Google released Notebook LM, that was before VO3, that was before the reasoning models, that was before agentic AI. And the pace of technology adoption, the pace of technology advancement in AI, I ponder just how big of a tsunami AI is, and I think it's still underrated in the short run. I think people have no clue. I think I talk to business leaders they mostly are representative age group of this audience, and most people do not really understand that this is not software. It's not something that you can just give to your CTO or IT. But most CTOs and IT don't even understand that this is an alien intelligence, and it is the most significant human invention, in my opinion, of all time. And it may be existential. I hope it all works out. I chuckled when Paul said his comments like, I hope it's for the good. Humans and technology don't always have the best track record. And I'm choosing to take the optimistic side, but I'm sure there's going to be some scary events coming our way. It is scary at times, but it's an incredible time, and it is going to transform society and business and our lives. Period.
Andy,
sorry, I went off.
Your book is called AI First. We're in a room with a lot of other trading firms, venture firms, investment firms, but founders and innovators, some academics in the room too. What are the biggest mindset shifts needed inside of these types of companies to make this change that you're describing, to become AI native? What's the mindset shift?
So I think that's the. So first off, AI impacts everything that language impacts. So it's all about the unstructured data, and so the most significant thing is to recognize that it is a mindset shift. It is not a skill shift. It affects everything that you want to do. Everything. So, if you choose to let it. One of the big takeaways from having done the book was that AI first companies start with AI first leaders. And what is an AI first leader? It's someone who has had the holy shit moment. And I described the holy shit moment as that walk that we took around the park. Like I was in the Web3 space, and I remember ChatGPT 3.5 came out. It was not an accident that we pivoted the company within about 60 days. It's because I had seen this movie before, and I had my holy shit moment. When leaders get it, it's like they're already behind. It's like people know in Seattle. I live in Seattle. People know in Seattle that at some point the big quake's going to come. I mean, there's a big there's the difference between Seattle and San Francisco. We're on a different fault line, and the one in Seattle is like the real big one. Like it's like the tsunami that's going to take over all of I-5 is there was an article 5 years ago, and I'm shocked at how many people don't have an earthquake bag or preparation, like the number of people. AI, this is coming, and this movie's coming to you in the next 2 years. Like it is here, and it is happening, and it is now. And it's not going to be the tsunami that overtakes and the earth shakes for 10 minutes. The earth is going to shake, society is going to shake for 2 years, but it's going to be just subtle enough until it's not that that it might be like boiling frogs, like the slow boil frog.
And so the mindset shift starts with holy shit from the leaders in the room. Internally, Abdul and I talk about just do shit. I think it's founder mode. It's you got to learn it. You got to lean in. You don't want to be the victim. You take the agency. And I credit Abdul for working nights and weekends, vibe coding. We have our internal processes, but again, we're a 5-person company with 75 AI agent teammates. What are you seeing in bigger organizations? And you mentioned Moderna. What are some of the case studies that you're seeing, across these types of companies?
I mean, when the AI leader has the shift, like I'm excited to see your presentation because I think you've had the holy shit moment. I think at Moderna, and once the leadership has moved and made it and permitted and encouraged employees to start to adopt AI in their work, that like every work processes changed materially. The incorporation of all forms of unstructured data, customer support tickets, like all these companies are sitting on enormous troves. Your limitless recording, Zoom calls and transcripts from calls become really important data sources. The definition of data historically was, fields in a database. And now it's file storage and phone calls and transcripts. So all of that changes.
We're in a room of investors. Formerly your Web2.com VC, also fund of funds and crypto funds. We're always looking for the non-consensus. What are some of the hot takes as you're on the front lines of AI adoption, trading firms, investment firms, companies? What are some hot takes that are different from what you see on a query in Grok or on the news?
I think like AI has material changes to the investment workspace. The question of like, what is alpha in 3 to 5 years as a result of AI, and how does alpha exist in the land of AI and agents, I think is not just a philosophical question.
Existential.
It's existential, yeah. Like, so how do, manage, AI is going to outcompete managers. Already does today, the technology, so I think it has tremendous impacts, and I don't spend a lot of time, our customer base at Forum 3 is predominantly a laggard. It's consumer, it's retail, restaurant, et cetera. So in the hedge fund world, where sophistication and technology are being deployed, I think it's, I think you need a 15-to-1 ratio of agents to humans.
We're going to bring this to life. Abdul has earned his spot in showing all you esteemed leaders kind of what he's built. And I'm excited to have him here, show some AI products that we've rolled out internally. We teased out one as you guys signed up, Emma AI, our networking concierge. A few demo videos to show, and I think if we click on the first slide, overall, consider these 3 themes as he's going through the demos. AI can flourish humans. AI can come together and form expertise networks with humans. This is an area that we're starting to file patents for. And then lastly, to scale your competitive advantage, applying this to investment alpha, AI can build AI. And we're very excited to show this to you. Abdul.
Thank you, Paul. Always excited to show some of the products that we have built out internally, and really to learn from everyone and vice versa. So let's fire up our first demo. These are the three key themes that Paul mentioned. AI flourishes humans, and we're going to start with this. This one, we have our team roster here that you see on the slide. 5 human teammates, many of whom you met today. You met Teresa, you met myself, you met Paul. And at the same time, as you start to take a look at this roster, you see that each human has a respective AI clone here as well.
They made me look too old in my AI clone.
These can always be changed, but what's fascinating here too is that we have our Arlen clones, set of expert clones, many of which you recognize as well, and you will recognize. Now, at the bottom right, you see Zahel, but right now we're going to show you 2 of our investment team agents. Edison, he does CRM parsing for us, underwriting parameters for Decasonic, PMF, narrative execution. This is what Edison does. Our second investment team agent that I'm going to show you is Grace, market categorizer. Market categories are important because those are where you can often find the 100Xers. What I'm going to show you on screen
Maybe we'll pause the video a little bit. You know, we took the approach that there's not one super AI analyst who's going to work for us. We're going to hire specialized AI so we could hot swappable in and out their expertise, adapt their expertise, and fire them if they're not performing. So we could pull the plug on their GPUs and detach their memory, but we're specializing the context and prompts for these particular agents.
And as Paul said, each of these agents have their respective profile images, they have their respective agent IDs, they have their respective superpowers, so that makes it more communicative like a teammate. So it's as if you're interacting with a teammate. On the clone side of things, which you saw as well, briefly mentioned, those are trained on publicly available information based on these individuals as well. Now to essentially
roll the video. Sorry
roll
about
over
that.
the video.
Yeah.
To continue the video, on screen is an area where we access the intelligence capabilities of our agents. Right now, we're interacting with Edison and Grace, which are 2 of the 54 agents that we have set up actually on Telegram. We interact with them just like we would interact with our other human teammates. We tag them, we prompt them, we receive an output. Keep in mind, Telegram is simply one of the many interfaces that we have for our agents and many of the interfaces that you could be building for your own agents as well. In our case, Telegram is so popular with crypto VCs, and we're part of that circle, and therefore that's what we have. Our next product platform that we're going to show you post this intelligence is Emma AI, our networking concierge agent. Right now, we're signing in Paul. We're finding Paul's personalized matches, as you can see here. We put Paul's name. And if you haven't checked out Emma yet, you should definitely find our colleague Brendan.
Casper, I need to meet you.
So you can see here the matches, and if Paul already met all of these 5 individuals, we can always run new connections for you. This is all personalized, made with a matching engine that learns from your interactions. So each time you click on connect via LinkedIn, it learns from you as well.
Ross is raising money, so he's connecting to me.
That's one person you can talk to. Now, the other thing here is V connections on mobile. So if you want to take a QR code to go, find your matches to go, that's something else that you can do. Now, if we pause the video here for a second, next demo that we have essentially draws upon an innovation that we have developed internally. And that innovation is our AI expertise network. We're taking traditional RLHF mechanisms and RLAIF, which essentially represent reinforcement learning for AI with human feedback and reinforcement learning for AI with AI feedback. What we're doing is we're adding a network of experts in the loop for battle testing, for refinement, for providing feedback, and these experts run 24/7, composed of our clones as well.
You know, we have thesis that AI is only as smart as the people who train the AI. AI is actually a pretty bad parrot, and if you're just going to take off-the-shelf AI, it's just really going to make you, frankly, dumber. So layering on my social gaming expertise or background, you'll see some gamification features in this. The innovation that we thought of was having not just one or humans provide that feedback to train AI, but a network of AI clones specialized on the top experts in the world to improve our AI. And this social network of AIs and humans to produce better insights is our innovation, our contribution to the AI space.
So we're going to show it right now, and some of the clones that you saw previously, Steve AI, Sam AI, Elon AI, are also going to make a reappearance here. I'm sure I don't have to tell the audience which individuals those refer to, but you'll see them right now, and you'll see how they work at Decasonic. So right here is our AI product evaluation. We're product-first investors, and one of the most subjective areas in venture capital for pre-product is going to be product evaluations. And this one is primarily relied on through our expertise network. It's powered by 2 teams of AI. You see Anaya here, who's our orchestrator for the first set of AI agents. And I mentioned the expertise network earlier, which is composed of both clones, human clones, and humans as well. Collectively,
Abdul, I look older than Steve Jobs. That's incorrect.
It seems like the AI is always trying to make Paul older here for some reason. But right on the screen, you see operator being assessed. We're speeding this up to show you what happens in the network. Each of the clones, each of the agents contribute the respective expertise. But the real innovation happens here in a second, and you'll see on screen where the battle testing occurs. This is where an individual human user, myself, Paul, anyone else from the Decasonic, trains up their AI clone, and this clone is able to apply their output to the respective AI agents and other clones in the network. So this is the innovation that we have on traditional RLHF, RLAIF systems, enabling 24/7 RLHF mechanisms as well, which we apply internally for product evaluations. This is multi-agent evaluations. Each of the clones contribute respectively, and they refine their outputs. What traditionally took us 6 hours to complete in terms of a product evaluation can now be completed in 15 minutes. These are the other workflow steps related to the product evaluation as well. Now we're going to pause the video here for a second. This is my last demo, and this hits upon our final cornerstone or final theme that we want to discuss and we want to emphasize to the audience.
Abdul, let me pause you a little bit. We pride ourselves on being technology investors. My background's in venture capital for 3 decades. I really think that investment alpha accrues to people who are able to back top people before they become top people, to back top products before they become billion-dollar products. In my career, we've built and scaled billion-dollar products from zero. And so a product evaluator based on AI to draw on the best practices of these experts who are sharing their playbooks online is how naturally someone like me would lean in and do my holy shit stuff. And so, upgrading myself, upgrading my capabilities to share with people like Abdul and this whole team is how we think about pre-product, pre-revenue businesses, pre-revenue tokens. This is how early stage will accrue in terms of investment expertise.
Paul is right, and to further add to that is that there's an expectation right now that AI is going to compound and scale your output. It's going to scale your inputs. Number of headcount that's necessary in order to achieve a certain amount of output is going to be reduced over time simply due to the scalability features of AI.
I have a team of 5 AI natives, and when we did the interview process, I threw at Abdul a ridiculous coding challenge, and the test wasn't for him to finish the coding challenge, but rather to figure out which window he pulled up first to go try and solve that coding challenge. We grill our candidates on their perspective of AI. Do you see AI as automating people so that they don't have jobs, or do you see AI as flourishing people, augmenting your capabilities, augmenting your superpowers to get to a more productive state? when you layer on crypto onto this, it becomes tremendous economic and investment activity to really flourish and move humanity forward. This leads to our last demo, AI building AI. You now have this foundation. How do you continue to sustain your competitive advantage versus your peers?
So we're going to walk through this demo. We're going to be mindful of time here as well. You're seeing that we're drawing upon a team of 7 AI agents. Similar to our other platform, we have an orchestrator in the loop. All of our products are interconnected. They learn from each other and they have feedback in relation to each other. What happens here is that we're going from idea stage, idea generation for an AI agent, to complete prototype in under 6 clicks. What typically took 2 to 3 hours of manual code for each respective agent is now done in 6 clicks, roughly 10 minutes with traditional RLHF mechanisms that are trained to improve the feedback of our respective
Pretty
code.
good, 80 out of 100, the gaming feature.
80 out of 100 is pretty impressive, and what we're doing here is we're validating the vision and value add for Decasonic. Now, AIPE, the other product that you saw as well, contributes to this network. It enhances the output, and it always does, because at the end of the day, these systems should be interconnected, and that's how you can always compound the effect of AI scaling AI, as long as they learn from each other, as long as they compound.
And this idea is to check for blockchain health, ecosystem health. So it's pulling a lot of the fundamentals on X to get to some sort of recommendation.
Exactly, and what this agent does is it's pulling metrics, and it pulls metrics on specific ecosystems. What you just saw was a product requirement doc being generated, and now the code, the respective code, is also generated as well. This is trained on a lot of the manual code that I've done internally, and now 6 clicks to the deployment is now complete.
And then it writes it back to our knowledge repository, a repository of humans that then feed into an agentic knowledge repository.
And this is essentially the demo that we have for you today. These are the products we have built out internally. Very thankful for you to be in attendance, and very thankful for your time. With AI PM, with other strategies, with the core 3 themes we discussed, we think that every single one of you could potentially be on the path to becoming an AI native. And once again, thanks for the time.
I don't know how much we're doing with time. We could open up for questions. Andy and Abdul.
Hi, Samir Singh with Vesta Equity. As you've been interacting with LLM specifically, and how has that, if at all, changed your relationship with your own thought stream?
It's changed a lot. I think I've had to create processes because the speed with which the speed with which the alien intelligence is delivering me information that I have to process and have a critical eye toward is so great that that I actually, oftentimes I'll take deep research reports, which average 15 pages long. I'll take it out and I'll email it to myself just to give myself the space and time and trick my, I'm older than Paul. I'm fine being a little older than Paul. I had 50 years of training in a one way of operating, and the speed with which AI delivers information that is sound, I need to trick my brain to have critical thinking to process that and know where that the output is different than what I would have wanted or attended from like an intern. It just happens so fast. Normally you see works in progress and have a month to figure that out. So that's thing one. Thing two, I think the skill that's required, I need to be the clarity of thought about what the output is, about what you want, is like, that's a new skill that is really powerful when combined with AI. Then you have to trick AI into giving it to you with context and prompting, but you need to know what you want so that the creative conceptualization of the idea becomes really, really important.
I think I've gotten more polite with AI over time. I grew up in New York. I'm very blunt, and I swear a lot because I grew up in New York. I then did .com, Silicon Valley operating, very blunt, very go speed. You move to the Midwest, I care about community, I care about my kids, and I fear AI enough where I'm polite to my AI. You have to provide a lot more context. You have to treat it like, kind of your baby. And if you raise your baby right, it'll spit back very, very intelligent work.
I think from my perspective and from some of the work that we have done internally based on what you see from the products, we built AI clones. AI clones are trained on respective human knowledge databases, including vector DBs, files, workflows, an individual's persona, personality, etc. Oftentimes, there's something you just know that you are an expert in, you believe in, and you want to make sure your representative clone or LLM communicates that to you accurately and effectively in future communication with that LLM through chain of thought or other methods. So as long as you train the AI, as long as the memory is there, the context is there, knowledge is there, it does improve, it compounds over time, and really AI building AI becomes a reality, because then you're actually able to keep on utilizing the memory, stored information, makes your prompts better.
My human teammate, Teresa, just gave me we're past time.
Thank you.
Abdul, Andy, and I will be here for additional questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.